Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a lot of Devin Haney's more recent sparring, recent heavy bag work, tons of other stuff. We're going to talk about power. We're going to talk about his kinetic chain. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff and how it pertains to fighting someone as fast and dangerous as Ryan Garcia. But first, we're going to get started with a little bit of one of the more incredible things that you've ever seen on pads. The speed in this is just nuts. It's not sped up at all. It's just one of the more incredible things that you'll ever see, you know. So really, 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 really talented, really, 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 really extremely hardworking. Now, obviously, when we break it down and we sort of like, okay, well, you can't really fight like that. You're going to get knocked out by someone. There's no head movement. There's this. It's not really how you block punches. Like, all that's true, but the dedication, the ability to work this hard, the ability to get this good at that pattern and do it correctly, it's pretty incredible, and it's a testament to Devin Haney kind of making it as far as he has. So, with that said, we're going to talk about again some of the more hardworking stuff that he does. Right? Again, the guy's an animal. Just crazy workouts. Oh, we're going to do sand. Okay, we're not just going to do sand. Okay, we're going to do sand, uphill sand stuff, kind of nuts, pretty cool, very, very interesting stuff. Um, and then we actually want to be talking more about, here's like a little bit of the recovery stuff he's doing, a lot of the strength and conditioning stuff. He does all kinds of nuts. Really, really strong and fit guy. We're going to get into the sparring here. But actually, we're going to take a look a little bit at the bad heavy bag stuff he's going to be doing, pivoting on the front foot. Again, one of the things that we want to focus on when we're looking at what Devin Haney does is his guard, how he approaches the line, stepping jab right there on the heavy bag, even though he's right next to it. Decent guard right there, throwing the body shot here. It's fine. Um, I think he likes that punch a little bit more than he should. Guard is down. Is he when he pivots and moves here? His guard is down. This is a very dangerous place to be when you're this close to someone. If you're pivoting on the front foot, don't really like that movement. Um, but more importantly, when we get into the sparring, come on, guys, here we go. All right. Now, again, the most horrible thing about this fight for Devin Haney is that Devin Haney's fast and he beats people because he's fast. And, Linares caught him a couple times and was fast too and gave him a tough fight. And, there was a lot of ducking below the waist and stuff, We're going to take a look at some clips. We have a lot of clips to go over, but as Devin Haney approaches the line, it's hard to approach the line against someone else who's fast when in this kind of Philly shell kind of look. Okay, now real quick, just to kind of demonstrate what I mean, we're going to take a look at a little bit of Jorge Linares. Okay, again, Philly shell jumps on the line, boom, 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 catches him with a three-piece. But this is again because he has his lead hand down. Right, he's not really blocking, interacting with the punches, and once his opponent is able to make it onto the line with him, he's able to kind of flood the line. And because Devin Haney doesn't really, practice defense, and we're going to talk about that when we take a look at the heavy or the pad work and stuff. Again, we have a lot of clips to go over. Getting caught right here again. Devin Haney has a problem. Oh, whoops! Just like I was saying a second ago, stepping with his jab here, steps with the jab. He even gets the guy, but because he's so much closer to the guy now, he winds up kind of getting caught with another shot here. Now, again, Devin Haney wins a lot of fights because he's fast. I don't want to say Devin Haney is a great boxer, right? But he's going to beat a lot of guys because he's fast, because he works hard, because he's really strong, right? But Ryan Garcia works pretty hard too, right? Ryan Garcia is pretty fast. More importantly, Ryan Garcia is a puncher, and a very, very fast or quick-handed puncher, being able to get to the line, right? And this looks like the guy jumps onto Devin Haney's line here with the jab. Again, hands down. Could that have been a left hook from a Ryan Garcia? Getting to this position, is his right hand guarding a left hook here? Very, very famous, throwing the right hand over the top on the inside. That'll be an interesting move. This, I wonder, Ryan Garcia usually is more Philly shell like, so he's not usually in positions to get uppercutted, I don't think. But he will try to bait from the front foot too. We'll see some of that stuff as well. Um, One of those positions where you throw this shot. Now, Very, very quick, right? Very, very quick here. Boom. Combination here. Bop. Uppercut. And now his head is kind of in this position for three beats. There's no real defense here. And if you're going to leave here, you're not going to block after this position. And this is a very common move for Devin Haney, right? You're going to get hit with the left hook, right? And what's like the only job that Devin Haney has in this fight? The only job is to not get hit by the left hook. That's the only one, right? Everyone is pretty much agreeing that if Devin Haney doesn't get knocked out, the likelihood that he wins by decision is like super high, right? High 80%, right? Is Ryan Garcia going to be able to keep it up for 12 rounds, right? Who knows, right? He not that he's a fader, right? I mean, he knocked out Duarte, and we're going to see that real quick. This is very, very, very important. Again, no guard from the left hook here. Very, very dangerous. And Devin Haney slips to that front foot here. Again, this position here. Slips to the front foot, and look at him eat a left hook. I talk about this in one of my breakdowns, talking about Devin Haney. Again, I have a few of them on my channel if you want to check them out. um, but he'll move into this fake position, just like the one where he was throwing that left hook to the body, and he'll just put his head there like it's good head movement. Um, but he doesn't. It's not a bait, right? It's interesting because usually when Devin Haney gets to the line, he knows that he has to leave really quick. So when he puts his head here, he winds up kind of leaving it here. Sometimes he'll throw the left hook to the body, like we saw before a second ago. Sometimes he'll just sit here, but he did it again, and the guy picked up on it in the sparring. Oh, he's gonna maybe throw a left hook to the body. The guy read left hook to the body. Devin Haney didn't even throw the left hook to the body, and he still paid for the position. And that's kind of one of those things when he kind of trades positions there with that guy, he kind of lets him just hit him with that shot. Now, the biggest gripe that I have, Devin Haney doesn't really practice defense. He doesn't really have to. He's usually the fastest guy. He usually gets to go first, and usually guys are just desperate to catch up to him, so they'll overextend. Now, you're not allowed to duck below the waist, but because Devin Haney doesn't practice any real defense, this winds up being the athletic move that he runs to, right? Just duck below the waist. Okay, I'll just move all my targets super far away from all of his targets, right? Put my head in between my own legs, right? Again, we fight how we train. If the referee warns him for it, or let's say Raleigh Romero was trying to get a significant advantage against um, Cruz by holding his head down, right? He would just throw some punches and then leap in. He would be playing Vladimir Klitschko, right? Jump in with the lead left hand and then try to hold their head down and tire him out. If Ryan Garcia throws some punches at Devin Haney and Devin Haney ducks below the waist, and Ryan Garcia puts his forearm on his head and holds his head down and starts wrestling like he says he can against Sean O'Malley, Devin Haney may have to rethink this whole strategy because it's really tiring to fight from this position. If a guy gets a hold of your head right here, right? It's one of the ways that Lomachenko would do it. People would duck below the waist and he would hold their head down. For him, being in the open stance, the Southpaw Orthodox, when a guy comes up with their head, it usually comes up on their front foot when you're on your front foot, and it's a head gash thing. It's a huge problem, So I give Lomachenko a little bit of slack. Sometimes he's like a little bit, a little eager to get there too, right? But normally, pretty good sportsman. But ducking below the waist, not legal. Blah blah blah. Doesn't block punches well. Doesn't catch jabs very well either, right? And we're gonna take a look at a lot of the stuff, but we saw him do this defense here. Linares picked him off, hit him with two shots. Most importantly, hit him with a left hook, right? Again, we're gonna take a look at a few more clips. Stepping jab here, stepping jab. Okay, we're going to take a look at real quick stepping jab when you practice this. Stepping jab's not a bad move, but when your opponent's really quick and you're going to throw stepping jab, bop. So stepping jab into a two. Look at how quick Ryan Garcia is to explode on that shot there. Just incredibly quick. Incredibly quick. Okay? And again, it's just about mitigating risk, right? That's all you're trying to do when you have these little tiny advantages. Again, ducking below the waist, not really legal. Look at a little bit of Devin Haney's structure as well. When we take a look at his feet, Devin Haney's one of those guys that's kind of notorious for kind of fighting kind of bladed, right? And look at his as the guy approaches the line, his feet kind of blade like this. It stops him from really being able to transfer his weight and get his head anywhere because his head can only be over one of his 2 feet. And now he's perfectly in line for our right hand. right? So he has to kind of duck, right? If he doesn't, he's also going to be, once that guy brings his right shoulder to the line and throws it, he'll be stuck in position to get hit with the left hook. The guy will be able to cross his line with almost no effort, so he has to kind of duck and get away from here. It gives him just enough time to reset. It wasn't even a good reset, right? He still wound up coming up in a significant amount of danger. Again, what if there's a combination here? What if there's more punches here? Now, one of my favorite fighters ever, Zab Judah, was another kind of fighter that would move around and do silly stuff like this and didn't have his guard up, didn't have his hands up, didn't really block punches. This is not exactly Philly shell, right? But Zab Judah knows better, being a southpaw, being an open stance kind of guy, right? But this kind of movement here, it leaves you inevitably open, right? As you're moving around to getting caught with your hands down. And Zab Judah, trying to be fast and flashy, slipping this way, literally just gets walked right into a rear hand shot. And Devin Haney moving around, circling like this, he's bound to put himself in a similar position where he has to put himself in a very athletic position or athletic maneuver to kind of dodge one of Ryan Garcia's very fast punches. And the fact that he's still practicing, again, you know, within reason, um, with his hands down, right? But Devin Haney doesn't really practice defense. And we're going to talk about that. Very, very dangerous move, leaping hook here to do. I talk about it in one of my previous breakdowns. Check it out. But Devin Haney is one of those guys that kind of steps with punches a lot of those times when he's making moves. And his leaping hook there or his left hook there, not really any different. Now, they just kind of pop up on this clip right here. Again, we look at Devin Haney's guard when he's getting attacked here. This guy is just springing into this move. What if this was a left hook? What if this was a straight right hand? Right? It could still be a jab from Ryan Garcia. He's still quick, right? But again, look at the guard from Devin Haney. Is this a good defense? Right? Do you guys all remember when you guys were beginners and you would move into positions like this and the guys that were faster than you would just beat you up? I remember. Stepping jab, again, that close, right? Is there a right hand or is that a left hook coming from Ryan Garcia instead? Again, getting caught with a left hook here. And, it's interesting because, you see that clip with Floyd Mayweather Sr. there. And we're going to take again a look at some more training clips, getting caught here again. These are not positions that he can just be in. Getting his guard up when he crossed the line there, a little bit with the Philly shell. I just want to point out of position, right? Gets hit with the body. And then look at him come out. I just want to, I'll get my swag on. Okay, here I come. I was just playing around kind of thing. Like, and that's like in my head, like, okay, you got me. It's time for me to like, I was just playing kind of thing. That's what I read into it. Little right hand probe. Look at his back foot coming up off the ground. Now, that is one of those things that Devin Haney is. Um, if he throws that right hand there, his head's there, and the guy's trying to counter. And they're kind of planted right there. We're going to talk about that. Let's just watch that one more time. That right hand. Boom, just blasting out of it. Pretty good. Watch his front foot here, okay? This is really, really, really important. Kind of springing and jumping up off of it, right? Now, we're going to take a look at one of his training clips here, okay? And watch his front foot here, right? See his front foot kind of coming off the ground here? And you can see it kind of skidding. It's not really planted. You can see that same exact thing is kind of going on, right? And look at his back foot though, sometimes flying off, most of the time kind of coming up off the ground. Um, I do think that he's uh, doing a little bit better on average on the first punch that he throws, where it looks like his foot's kind of digging in more, but most of the time it looks like it's actually just kind of flying up off the ground. It's not really digging in. It's not really driving. Those ones look a little bit better. But the front foot never ever planted, never really in the ground. So not really utilizing his entire kinetic chain in what I call 2 foot punching. Okay, if you guys want to learn more about this, this is really the first step of striking and learning how to throw a really, really, really hard punch because your kinetic chain starts from the ground. Okay, now if you guys want to learn more about this, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System in the description below. It's the first full comprehensive system to teach you how to punch with real punching power, guaranteed. You can check out the testimonials in my playlists from some of my students talking about what they've learned, how their power has grown, all that stuff. But and you can check out the reviews again. 100%, I'm the first coach in history to be able to teach power punching to anybody. Not only will I teach you exactly what to do with your kinetic chain, but I'm also going to teach you how to improve your punching power. And over time, if you work at it every day, you will generate incredible force. You will understand how your entire kinetic chain will work, right? Generate power. But not only that, I also have the world's first complete comprehensive system to teach you how to apply that kinetic chain and that hardest punch, right? It's actually weaponizing the 1 inch punch is how I teach it. Very, very martial arts like. So all those martial arts fans out there. Um, but I'm going to teach you how to get on the line, hit your opponent, or attack your opponent with your best shot, defend that shot, and then safely get off the line. I'm going to teach you the most efficient ways to practice it, um, the most ruthlessly efficient ways to practice it and get good at it, and to learn all the skills that you need. Check it out again. It's an entire combat system. There's mitt drills in there to teach you speed and power and snap, to teach you how to define your positions, right? So you don't have problems like this where you're kind of jumping up off the ground when you throw your punches. And again, we'll take a look at another little clip of Devin Haney on the heavy bag here. Uh, and again, you can see him kind of having similar problems when he does eventually throw his shot right there. The right hand kind of, or the right foot coming up off the ground, stepping with every one of these shots. Um, but I'm going to teach you how to get on the line, how to make your most powerful attack, and how to get off the line, how to defend those positions, and how to turn them um, into combat. Okay, and it has partner drills where it's going to teach you how to apply what I call the track drill into real combat, how to control the line, get on it, and make an attack, how to get off. It has mitt drills. It has mitt drills to teach you the track. It has film studies to teach you what the track means and how important the idea of what I call the track is to overall understanding combat and what position you are in at all times. Because, you know, one of the things that Devin Haney doesn't really do because he doesn't really move his head, and again, we're going to be talking about this when we get to his mitt stuff as well, but he doesn't do anything in relation to his target, right? And that's one of the most important things that you're supposed to do. And the Fouts Boxing Combat System is going to teach you how to do that. Okay. So again, it's tons of mitt drills, tons of heavy bag drills, and then tons and tons of shadow boxing drills to teach you how to increase your athleticism, teach you how to build snap, how to and what really shadowboxing is supposed to be. Okay. And then it has a ton of videos of me teaching my students how to do the drills better, how to improve their kinetic chains, what pieces they're not focusing on. So you can follow along and focus on these things and learn them yourselves. There's a guy on my channel named Alex McAleer, and it's got a couple of his fights where he's got a couple of knockouts. He's a really young kid. Um, uh, you know, very, very few fights, under 10 fights, knocking people out, getting knockouts in a really low weight class. I think he's like at 125, but real, real low weight class, amateur still. But you'll learn and alongside him with some of his drills. And he's actually really developing into a pretty phenomenal talent. I'm really excited about him. So anyway, check out the Fast Boxing Combat System. It comes with all that stuff inside. It's like over 40 hours of content, including the most important ones to teach you how to punch hard. Not only punch hard, but teach you how to do exactly what Ryan Garcia does to generate speed with your punches. Right now, the interesting thing is in spite of the fact that Ryan Garcia does this technique with his left hand, and it's present a little bit in his right, it's the reason why his right hand's not as good as his left hand is that he doesn't actually know what he's doing. He just does it, right? But I will teach you how to do it so you'll be able to, um, you know, do it better than him eventually. Now, Not a lot of head movement, not a lot of positional changes, a lot of very bladed stance, a lot of stepping with these punches. And check this move out here. This move is very dangerous here. Um, boom, boom, that pendulum here. And then see how he kind of slips to the front foot. Is his left hand up? Is he ready to block a punch? Is he, we've seen that he doesn't really block punches, right? But we can see that this guard, while you're not going to ever have a perfect guard, right? Even though he makes it to this position, even if he has his hand up, he still has to know how to block a left hook from this position and interact with a really quick one because he might get caught behind the ear. He might get caught. He might even just get caught here on the glove, right? And it might just be enough to hit him on the temple, bust through that little bit of a guard, right? Because it's just the glove there, right? He's not really going to block and interact with that punch with this position. But this is a very, very common position. But more importantly, what I wanted to highlight is the little pendulum that he does here, boom, boom, as he rolls into it, because that's actually usually where he throws his right hand. And we're going to take a look at some of that stuff as well. But let's go ahead and take a look again back at the sparring, kind of glean what we can glean very fast back into a position where his hands are down. And if he gets attacked, he has to be very athletic again, right? Which again is very, very difficult against someone who can also be fast. Boom, boom, boom. Again, is that good defense when we see it? It's fascinating because all this stuff is on Devin Haney's channel, right? Now, real quick, that was actually not bad. Ryan Garcia struggles to block punches as well. And as this guy gets on the line, he's able to throw this right hand around the guard. Ryan Garcia is a little bit more bladed as well. And it's one of the things that he uses to help throw that whip in his left hook is how bladed he is as well because he steps into his left hook. So this guy's a little bit more square, and that's because he can't fight Devin Haney bladed because he's not fast enough. He would just get destroyed. So he has to be the guy that is trying to be herky jerky, clever, whatever. But Ryan Garcia is not going to have to give up this much of his head. He'll be able to stay a little bit more bladed. But timing this over the top is one of those ways that if he can get a little bit of respect from Ryan Garcia, he can push him off the line. Maybe he can mitigate a little bit of the speed that Ryan Garcia has as well. Now again, he threw that right hand, then he threw this left hook. This guy didn't get knocked out. Obviously, these guys are friends, but look at his guard here. Is he intentionally holding and controlling the arm? Would he be able to interact with a left hook? Right? Is that enough there to interact with a left hook? Real quick, also, is this good defense? Is this good? Now, he's practicing bodying up here, which is fine as long as you don't wrap your arm around your opponent, right? Now, if he's beating this guy up, you probably don't need to do that. Now, check this move out here, you guys. You see him throw that right hand and then pendulum forward. You guys see that? You guys kind of see just a little bit of it. You can kind of make out what he's doing with his feet here. Back foot comes front foot, takes a step, right? Breaks open this way. Now he's going to kind of roll under and throw this right hand, kind of shift forward. Look at how both of his feet come up off the ground. Very consistent with how he throws that right hand already. Let's take a look at what happens when people do that to Ryan Garcia. So this guy did that move here. Boom. And he's penduluming onto Ryan Garcia's line. Right hand. Boom. Gets caught. But he's doing the exact same thing that Ryan Garcia is practicing in his sparring. And that was the move that ended the fight for Duarte. Right? And Duarte is not a bad fighter, right? He's not a good fighter. Now, let's conceptualize a little bit of what that means. Devin Haney, when we talk about is he a good fighter? Well, everything in relation to your target, right? He's one of the top fighters of his generation at the moment, right? He's showing that he works hard enough to be among the people that have whatever skill sets they have, and he can compete because of his level of fitness. I think this guy Duarte is a similar case, right? If he can catch you and knock you out as a power puncher, he gets to consider himself a good fighter. But we can see like, oh, there's tons of holes, this, and that. But if you can't stop this guy from punching you in the face, no matter how many times you punch him in the face, right? Look at how many times it took Ryan Garcia to finally catch and hurt this guy, right? But it was his ability to be able to knock people out. I think he had almost 100% knockout ratio that was able to say, okay, I belong in this group of people because of my athleticism. Devin Haney has a similar claim, you know, and I think that that kind of stuff, these kind of habits, right? And as we saw in the heavy bag stuff when he was throwing his hardest shot, he's still coming up off the ground, And again, this kind of stuff, all these things conflict with Devin Haney's only goal, and that is here's a left hook here he's getting hit with, and that is to not get hit with a left hook, right? Don't get hit hard and clean, right? That's the only goal, right? Now, um, Floyd Mayweather was able to do that against Diego Corrales, right? How many times against Diego Corrales did Mayweather actually get hit clean? Good overhand, like it, good control. I don't really like that pivot thing that he does. We're going to talk about that later. Again, is he catching the jab? Is he really bladed? Is he going to duck down? Is this legal? Is his head allowed to be here? Right? Now, it's interesting too because just a few years ago, before I started complaining about this, nobody even cared. Nobody even called it out. But there are a few refs that have been calling it out. Hey, don't duck below the waist. Hey, don't, And if Ryan Garcia, as a superstar, brings it to the attention of the referee is gonna have to do something if that referee ever wants to ref another Ryan Garcia fight, which makes a lot of money, and he gets a purse, right? It's like I don't know who pays the sanctioning fees for the ref. It's if it's the belts, the belt people, the sanctioning bodies, because they have to sanction the fight, so they sanction the referee. I don't know, but they get percentages. So do they not get percentages? Big fight, big money, right? Anyway, whatever it is, obviously championship fights, more money, more notoriety, more opportunity, even for refs, right? Whatever that means. But if Ryan Garcia complains about it, right? Hey, don't let him duck below the waist. What is Devin Haney going to do if he's not allowed to do that? Right now, the only real problem with Devin Haney's ducking below the waist is he doesn't utilize it to do pull counters. Now, I do want to point out, actually, right here, pulling to the back foot here, front foot rolls to the back foot down, and then he kind of comes up with the stepping jab here, stepping jab. Uh, again, is that a good move against the left hook? See when he steps with this shot here, stepping here, look at his right hand. Part of the reason why Devin Haney's so fast is because he's using the momentum derived from swinging his right hand at his right shoulder to exert his left shoulder into his opponent. Again, another contributing factor of why he's going to struggle against someone who's as fast as Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is so fast, you guys. You know. Now, the only problem, right, that Ryan Garcia has that makes him not fast is that, and like Tank Davis said, is that it's not that fast. His hand is fast, but Ryan Garcia's feet aren't fast. And that's because he has to still get planted before he can throw it. He has a hard time, just like Devin Haney. Now, again, look at Devin Haney getting kind of pushed around, and look at his guard. You know, he's going to kind of struggle, I think, in some areas because of this, because his hands are down, because he approaches the line, and he hasn't learned how to deal with this because we saw him struggling um, against some of the other fighters that were fast, like Linares, right? Jumping onto the line. Now, again, is this a particularly fast 1-2 when we watch it? Pop, pop. But when we take a look at Fonseca here, throwing his 1-2, he's down for the count before the right hand even gets there. And he's getting hit with an insane shot. They literally couldn't have choreographed this any better if they wanted to. Like, it was just absolutely perfect. Here he is on the front foot. Boom, he blasts out, and he just annihilates him. Just annihilates him. Doing the same thing, by the way, stepping jab. Boom, getting hit with a right hand over the top. And it's not even the only tool that Ryan Garcia has at his disposal, right? The left hook. Now, obviously, most people are not, most people are going to be sleeping on the right hand, Um, but Devin Haney is showing a very, very, very clear lack of defense for it, a very clear um, weakness to this move, right? Like it looks um, especially effective against him. Now, again, we fight how we train, right? We see this guy here, this gentleman ducking below the waist again. Again, it's not allowed. Um, you're not, especially this far, right? What happened if he took a knee to the eye, right? Whose fault is that, right? Like, just imagine if he throws his head down like this and Ryan Garcia pendulum steps on him at the same time and knees him in the face. How nuts would that be? Also, how quick would the rules change? Not change, but how quick would the rules start being enforced, right? Because this is not boxing, right? This is not boxing. And even if you consider it, is he in a position to really guard these punches? Oh, coming up, holding by the waist. Even his friend laughing at him right there. Now, again, stepping with his punches. Nothing wrong, right, with the leaping and stuff, but um, if you're forced to leap, and you don't intend to, you don't use the distance that you cover, it kind of looks like you do it on accident. And if you're leaping it on accident and you wind up in positions you shouldn't be in, you that's when you get hit. Now check this move out. I just go too far back. Yeah, jab, pendulum. Is he ready to throw a right hand? Maybe he's waiting, right? But this is the move that jab, pendulum. This is the move that Errol Spence got knocked out, right? Jab, pendulum, and getting caught. This is the move that we've already seen him get caught by a left hook by, right? If he were to throw a punch right now and his opponent were to freak out and throw a left hook, and it's Ryan Garcia who wins right here. So, and again, this is just one of those really common positions that Devin Haney is going to be in. He puts himself in this position, doesn't really block punches very well, right? We know that he doesn't. Oh man, we got so much stuff to look at still. A lot of stepping jabs. This was not really a block. He throws his right hand, and this is not a punch either, right? He's trying to control. Is that a good control for a right hand, right? I know this guy's blocking. He's expecting a quick left hook, right? This guy's playing defense instead of offense here. But is this a good defense? Volkanovski would tell you, no, it's not. Ilya Taporia would say, probably not good enough, right? Ryan Garcia will throw this right hand over the top of this shot as well. Getting caught again. It's interesting that they would put out so much film, unless this is like super old, because who even is this sparring partner? Is this guy even any good? Catching him with the left, feinted the right. I think he would have got him. I mean, this is one of the more dangerous things I think you could ever do, penduluming in, and like we can see this guy post on his head here with the left. That could be a punch, that could be a right hand, that could be a left hook. You know, that's literally penduluming on your opponent's line, but he didn't even have a jab to protect it. He didn't even come down with any attack. Even after making some of his most violent and big attacks on the line, not a lot of head movement, not a lot of defense after. Again, this position here, where he gets to that position, Oftentimes he's going to throw that little left hook. Sometimes he goes to the body, sometimes he goes uppercut to the head. But either way, if Ryan Garcia throws a left hook here, this is a knockout for Ryan Garcia. Right. So again, this is another one of those moves that has will have a too much variance on it for Devin Haney to be valuable. Right hand to the body. Does he defend this position? Is he ready to block? Is he ready to pull? Again, look at his guard. Is that a good guard? Again, grabbing people's body, not legal. Jab, pendulums in. I guess if it's the end of the round, it's okay. But a lot of holes, a lot of stuff in the sparring. We're gonna take a quick look at the other one because there's some really important stuff in here too. There's many fewer clips in this one. It's mostly Bill Haney saying stuff. They say some interesting stuff as well. You hear somebody get your head off the line. Who calls it the line but me? Huh? The line? The line? Yeah. But so we got some Fouts boxing fans over there for sure, telling him to get down. Interesting too. Oh, okay. Stepping jab down a little bit. Is that a good guard? Right? Is this a position that we want to be in? What about his hands? Should his left hand be that far away, right, from his head, especially right after a pendulum step? Ducking below the waist a little bit. Better than getting hit by a leaping left hook, but we can see that he can see that shot coming. I don't know why they're touching gloves there, but okay. Bill Haney next. Okay, jab, pendulum. Again, very dangerous move. I do want to say, holy crap, dude! Look at how big he looks, man. He looks freaking huge. 140, my ass. Again, look at his guard here. His left hand across his chest, his right hand not really in a position to catch jabs. Um, Massive opening for a right hand. His head is on the right side of the line. He's not even crossing the line. Um, Again, and coming forward, if he's meeting on the line in these positions, and he's showing these big holes, again, look at that shoulder, right? Look at his head here, right? A really sneaky quick shot, especially once he gets a little bit tired, especially once both of them are tired, right? Sometimes, you know, the offensive speed is easier than the defensive speed. And you're still going to be able to walk a guy who's tired, who's doesn't have a good guard anyway, into a good shot. Okay, what are they saying? There's a really important clip here. Okay, guys. Jab, pendulum, bodies up, right hand over the top. Again, that jab and pendulum move, that's the one that Duarte did and got knocked out. Jab, penduluming forward, a lot of pendulums. Here's that big, obvious right hand, right? What does he do right after? Well, Ryan Garcia likes to counter after that right hand and throw a left hook. Now, Devin Haney is not defending that right hand. He's following it up. Does he ever defend any of them? That's the kind of question, but we saw him do that little pendulum move there on the inside. And again, like, I don't know if people are like, oh, that's not really their sparring. That's not really, they wouldn't show the real stuff. Like, this is the real stuff, right? These are clips from it. Again, is that a good guard? It's actually not the worst. Again, uh, at least he's going to be more guarded against a straight right hand. But if you guys look at his guard here, does he look comfortable? Does he look relaxed? Does this look like how he always fights there? Again, he's going to have to be very disciplined with his guard. He's going to have to be able to keep his hands up the whole fight. Right hand pendulum. Again, that's one of those moves that Ryan Garcia likes to attack. Now, he kind of does this one, right? After kind of slipping to the front foot and then throwing it. And look at him kind of pendulum forward. Again, very, very, very dangerous to do this. Ask Jeff Horn in the Tim Tszyu fight. That dude was penduluming around, flying around, and Tim Tszyu was batting him around, right? And again, Ryan Garcia has a very, very, very high likelihood of being able to do some stuff like that to a guy who comes into the ring kind of fighting like this. We're gonna go ahead and move on a little bit now to some of the actually the other clips. I'm gonna talk about some stuff. Now, Devin Haney's defense, right? Here's that move that he just did right there, and then he throws the right hand. He's a little bit close, right? This is the position also that he likes to move in that fake position where I'll stay here, and then throw the left hook to the body, right? If he doesn't throw anything, just ate a left hook to the body by a fast guy. He's coming forward. Is it a good defense? Did he get hit by the left hook to the body there? Boom. Again, this doesn't really work against fast people. He just got hit twice, 3 times, right? Again, resorting right back to this because that guard wasn't working, right? He doesn't usually have a guard with head movement, and we can see with that clip, even though his hands are quote unquote up, there's still all these holes, right? Especially if his opponent can move their head. Again, Devin Haney doesn't really have defense, and when he tries, where's any of the offense here? Where's his ability to attack from these moves? He went down. He's creating a structure that he can attack from. But where's the offense off of it? Okay. All right. We're going to take a look at the next clip. Again, lack of defense. Boom. The guy sacrifices the jab to get on the line. Pop, pop. Smacks him with the left hook. How many times can you go through that sequence when the guy who's punching you is Ryan Garcia? Now, we're going to take a look at this. See how he pivoted right there? And then he tried to do that move, boom, boom, rolls under the hook. It's all fine. Pivot on the front foot. The guy meets him with it because they're both athletes. Neither one of them are blind. He tries to explode on it. 1, 2, counter, and gets hit. Right? Throwing a combination, not really having any head movement, yada, yada, yada. But we're going to take a look on the mitts. He practices that move. It's a fake ass move. We just saw it sucks. We just saw it sucks. And he kind of got smacked for it. And then again, that fake defense there, just ducking below the waist. A guy who's throwing left hooks, again, it still may not be good enough to duck below the waist and get away from these shots. Again, just kind of getting caught rolling to the front foot. He's a pretty big fan of rolling to the front foot. And again, hands down, a lot of that like athletic-ish kind of stuff. Um, hoping to kind of bridge the gap, I think, between him and better athletes, or his peers. Boom, 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 boom. Is this how you block punches? Right? Head movement. Could you wrap one around the guard? Right? Is he changing positions? Is he changing positions? If this was a right hand, how easy is it to go around the guard? Again, this is not really how you block. There's no head movement here. Um, and again, I do want to point out, man, the speed on this, nuts. Super nuts, right? Super nuts. Um, but Philly shell stuff again. This kind of stuff doesn't work. And here's that turn move that he just did against um, Linares. He wound up not landing the 2. I think he did wind up stepping with the jab and landing it, but he didn't wind up actually even ahead of the guy. And this kind of stuff here, these little pivots, boxing doesn't work this way. You don't get to do stuff like that in front of your opponent for free. But also, doing that, you have to move your head first, right? You see how the root of that move here, he's going to front foot, back foot, front foot, right? Multiple weight transitions to make a pivot work. And you got to be mindful of that. But most importantly, while he's training here, one of the things that that Devin Haney doesn't do, right, is any of the non-punching stuff, right? We saw what Devin Haney was doing when he wasn't planted, trying to throw punches at the guy, throwing it's either get planted and then stepping jab, right hand, right? Or it's like leaping hook into right hand, but it always comes from that planted position. And then after he's done, he'll just pendulum around and he'll just kind of run. He won't really fight in between his sequences, right? Like obviously that would be a new sequence, but there's not always that much control of the line. There's not always that much, catching and blocking and interacting with his opponent's punches, right? As we saw with that clip with Linares. But look what he's doing in between beats, right? Kind of just chilling, right? And then does he get his guard up? What is his guard before he enters the line here? We won't give him here, right? That's just how he gets on the line with his opponent. This is just how Devin Haney fights. This is how Devin Haney has this is the position he has access to his body in, right? And again, it's such a huge problem, especially because so much of what he practices is, this is like, it's fast. I want to say it's fast, bad block, very, very bad block. This is not Muay Thai. What's going on with this? What the hell is that? This one's not as bad, but it's still not a good shot, especially a left hook here. Look at where his head is. It's still directly on the line, right? What if you don't know exactly where the shot goes and it just hits you, right? Right on the front of the face right here. What if it just hits you right here, right? Ask Jorge Linares. He tried to block a left hook like that, got knocked out in the first round. Shit hit him just right on the front of his face. Boom, done, right? And that was at a time when Linares was, HBO was saying he was the second coming of Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, what a wild time, right? Linares, come on now. But again, look at his guard. Look at what he retreats to. This is his baseline, right? And it doesn't usually get any better. No head movement on those blocks, by the way, right? The shots come, it's fast, bad block, very bad block. He still interacted with them fast, right? But like, which there's some value. Fake pivot. This is actually, boom, the same exact move that he just got punched in the face doing. Boom, pivot, bop, 1, 2. He threw a 3 next, but no head movement as well. And this was actually mitt stuff that he was doing to prepare for Gamboa. So still pretty recent. Again, fake news stuff there. Look at the fake defense here. Is that going to get him out of position if the guy throws a left hook right hand? Right? Again, combinations. Right? You got to be ready. We saw that the right hands from Linares were able to make it through the shoulder. Right? He's not really using the shoulder to really block punches. They're not doing the drill correctly. And again, what's he doing in between? Where's the rest point? Well, in a fight, he's ducking below the waist and grabbing the guy when he needs air. Right? That's usually what he's doing. Now, this is such an interesting moment too, because in the moment here, he's going to tell him jab, slip, right hand. He's trying to teach him to pull counter. Right? He's trying to teach him this. And look at Devin Haney's slip. He takes a step with his feet because everything that he does is he steps with it. This is because he doesn't practice any type of head movement. He doesn't really know how to transfer his weight. This is why he doesn't have any punching power. And this is also why he has to jump when he's practicing his right hand to get his weight to transfer because his head is stuck in a line. Look at when he threw this shot through his rotation. His head didn't move. His right shoulder is on his chin. We know that that's like one of the rules. But when we look at him, we also know that this is bad, right? Don't we know that this is bad? He looks bad here, right? His head is just on a platter. It's like the top of the thing. It's really bad. And as we as we watch him do a few more, jab, step, right? That very karate thing, no head movement, boom, boom, off the line, right? His head's still not moving. But it's just interesting to see that his slip has to have a step with it as well. Again, no head movement there. And again, if the guy can't hurt you, right? Say you're fighting a guy like Jorge Linares who has, no punching power at all, who can't hurt a fly, um, unless that fly's name is Devin Haney. Um, but your hands are just fast. You have to be able to move your head. Also, if you throw long sequences and long combinations like this, you put yourself at even more risk, right? So if you're building a game plan for Devin Haney to beat Ryan Garcia, and it's not just be faster, right? What is it? Well, he's going to have to pull counter. But we can see what his pull counters look like. We can also see that when he ducks below the waist and he goes down, he doesn't set up a pull counter. Also, Fouts Boxing Combat System is going to teach you the easiest ways to learn how to do pull counters, the easiest ways to manage your weight, to learn how to do them with speed, precision, and power. Okay, don't forget to check it out in the link the link in the description. Weaponizing the 1 inch punch is what it's called. Again, 40 hours of content, including how to do mitts and how to do mitts correctly, and teach you how to do it, uh, how to be the mitt holder. Okay, we're gonna kind of move on a little bit from this mitt work. We're gonna take a look at another one over here. Where is it? We got. So this is a little bit of stuff from the Vasily Lomachenko, and I know Southpaw, right? Southpaw. Here he is doing some Southpaw work with the big mitt guy here. Again, we just want to focus on his guard. His hands are down. Okay. He's not practicing these things with any type of defense, any type of setup either. His feet are always stepping and moving, right? He steps with every single one of his punches. No defense there. Is this good defense, right? Remember when we saw Zab Judah get literally KO'd, right? Zab Judah, who, in prime for prime, Zab Judah would have annihilated Devin Haney. He would have knocked him out cold for sure. You know, Zab Judah is, you know, how is my hero? You can call that bias, and to be honest, it doesn't matter. We don't. Nobody has to say anything in the comments about it. Don't worry about it. Where's the defense here? Is this a good block? Right when we see this glove go up, if this was a right hand around the guard, how many right hands does this block? Right? Well, I guess it's a right hook. His opponent's southpaw still. Anyway, when we talk about and we see some of this stuff, this move here, see with the left shoulder, the left hand up, takes a step into it. This is that move. The right hand comes, boom. Is he going to block? His right foot comes off the ground. He stomps it into this. Is he going to block? Is he going to get down? His pull counter. Usually, when he comes down from here, he rolls to the back foot. So he wouldn't have a pull counter, but this is the move that he usually gets caught in, right? Or this is the move that I'm anticipating him to get caught by Ryan Garcia. Okay. Now, I'm just going to go. All right. His coach now is going to be orthodox by the time we resume. Come on now. Southpaw still. There you go. I think he's orthodox now, if I'm reading this correctly. Now they're practicing his power punches. Now, you see this move here, right? He's going to be taking this step here. Boom, boom. This is that move that he's practicing where he moves into that right hand and he's throwing his right hand to the body. He'll throw this with the same kind of footwork to the head, too, right? But he's kind of penduluming into this with his feet, right? And that's the one that I think, again, see how he crosses the line here to throw this shot. He's getting a weight. He's doing his best to get his weight into it. Um, but this is the only way that he really knows how to generate that amount of force. Okay. And again, he has to be stepping. But that move right there, um, I think that it's going to cost him again because that's how he kind of has to move into his more power punches. That that very consistent move here. Bop, bop, bop. I wish we could see his feet here. But he's an animal. Look at him throwing these punches. Now, we're going to finish off with a little bit of his shadow boxing. Okay. And again, I want you guys to focus on his defense. Okay. Anytime he makes a real defensive move, right? If we count something like this, is this a block? Mm. Is this a good roll? When he came up here, did he have his hands up? Was he guarding the line? Because This move, right? I don't know if you guys recognize this. Boom, right hand, back foot, take a step, roll to the front foot, right hand. Did I close it like a jackass? I may have closed it like a jackass. But the guy, Duarte, penduluming in on his right hand, that's exactly what that looks like to me. Where did that clip go? Holy hell. I didn't close that one, did I? Here we go. But rolling into this position, again, this is one of those things that he'll do when he's on the back foot for. Defense is rolling to the front foot. And we can see that his hands don't come up. There's not a block. He's not really interacting. There's not a lot of head movement either. Okay. And again, the lack of the defensive practice here. Okay. This is one of the most dangerous parts about the fight for Haney is that, and again, this is that fake stuff where he slips to the front foot. Boom, slip, boom. Here he is. We fight how we train. Slip to the front foot, throws the body shot. Is he blocking a left hook counter himself? He's on the front foot throwing a liver shot or the left hook to the head. Sometimes he throws it to the head. But you're just wide open for another left hook. And you just told your opponent you were going to be there for a whole beat. If they just freak out, they're going to hit you. So I won't be surprised if Ryan Garcia catches Devin Haney in that position. Boom, boom, throws the right hand, rolling under the line, pendulum. Hands are still not up for the pendulum. Is this a block? Mm, hands down. Again, just the way that he approaches the line on the right side of the line as well. He's not even necessarily, most people say on the back foot or the front foot, um, but it's even more complex than that at the highest level. It's about what side of the line you're on, and this is by the way, this is a Fouts boxing theory. This is my own personal theory. There may be people that agree and regurgitate this, but this is my personal theory. Um, and Devin Haney is going to be toward the front foot, but on the right side of the line a lot of the time because he fights so bladed. And that's going to make this guard here, these positions, very dangerous for him, especially because of the way that he'll come in off that little pendulum pivot on the front foot. Anyway, a lot of danger in this fight. You know, Devin Haney has what his safest weapon, and it was enough in the fight with Prograis. Um, the jab, right? He did drop him with the right hand off of a pendulum. Ryan Garcia is equally open to that move, but it'll be harder for Haney to achieve because um, Ryan is taller than him, as well as it's the closed stance, so the angle is going to be farther away when Ryan pendulums, which is exaggerated even because he's taller, especially because he's taller. But you know, I did see a lot of ways that Prograis could win the fight against Haney as well, and Haney fought his ass off. He made it look like Corrales versus Mayweather. He made it like a pretty much a virtuoso performance. Um, but Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, they have experience. Apparently, they've even sparred as pros, which I didn't know, which is pretty nuts. Um, but yeah, I'm still thinking I'm in the camp to go with Ryan Garcia by KO. Um, it could be a win on the cards, right? Devin Haney could be, a little bit slippery. I think that Devin Haney doesn't have as good of movement as Emmanuel Tego. I think Tego controlled space and had better head movement, even though he's much, 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 much less dangerous of a fighter. much less fast, much less snappy. Um, um, Devin Haney is a little bit more bladed, less overall movement. He's going to rely on that very, very, very bad Philly shell of his, that fake Philly shell. He doesn't do a Philly shell. He just puts his shoulder to the line and then ducks below the waist. Like it's not a real shoulder roll, right? Um, if he winds up turning his back, Ryan Garcia should complain. If he winds up ducking below the waist, Ryan Garcia should complain. Um, After he continues punching him in the back and punching him on the sides and, not letting him get away with it, you know, because if he bends down and the guy, Ryan Garcia also just punches him not in the spine, but like somewhere in the back, somewhere in the, he's not going to do that again, because it fucking hurts, especially if you're not used to getting punched in places like that, Anyway, um, yeah, I think that Devin Haney so far in his sparring hasn't shown that he's improving on any of these small holes. And at the highest level, when you're fighting a guy who's as fast as Ryan Garcia, they're just the holes that you're looking to exploit are super small. But the holes that you have to be giving to your opponent have to be small as well. And while I think that if Devin Haney fought someone like Subriel Matias, I don't know. Um, Maybe he could do the same thing to him that he did to um, Prograis. But Ryan Garcia is very explosive and fast, and he can just start going apeshit and throwing shots. And that's one thing that Prograis tried to do with Haney that he shouldn't have. He tried to make it a real clean thing. He didn't ever just start throwing hands and attacking and hitting the guy, And Ryan Garcia will just freak out and throw hard shots, and be like boom, boom, boom. And I think that at some point it's inevitable that he hurts Devin Haney and drops him. And I don't know if he can consistently find opportunities to score punches against Ryan Garcia and to not get hit hard by Ryan Garcia. So anyway, um, yeah, there's like tons of film studies on Patreon if you guys want to check them out of this fight, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. We watched tons of Devin Haney fights, tons of Ryan Garcia fights. It's free to sign up for a 7-day trial, and then it's $10 a month. Or if you guys want personalized coaching, it's $50 to sign up, $50 a month. And also stay tuned. I have a really special project coming. But yeah, anyway, thanks guys.